Linda should be here shortly.
We have 6 chairs. Oh, you want to grab another chair? Oh, it's on the end.
Tim?
All right.
Oh, it's on the end.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Western Region Town Hall. Appreciate it, all coming out. We're going to do a roll call first. I'm Thomas Aceves, your chairman. I'm here. Tim Chiara.
Present.
Linda Alexander is left for a moment. She's bringing back a timer. Lisa Benavides. Here. David Eby.
Here.
And Claudine Petticelli will be here shortly. She's at a meeting elsewhere, and she'll be here in a little bit.
Tony Arroyo. Hello, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
How you doing? Do you need something? No. Okay.
All right. Thank you for all coming. We're going to stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Where's the flag?
Flag's right behind you. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hoorah! Play ball. Yeah. We're going to do the minutes approval. Did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes.
All right. We'll take a vote on that. Do we have a motion?
I will make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Okay, we have a motion from Tim and a second from Lisa. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Chairman, who's taking those while I'm without a room?
You are. Should we?
Oh,
You can have the red.
do you want to take the notes? Linda will be here in a minute. Or Tim, do you want to take the notes?
No, I don't want to take the notes. Flip the switch. No, it's green.
Thank you. Okay.
I don't got a
You got some notes, Lisa?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh yeah, and then when Linda gets back, you can just, she'll be here shortly. Okay. We're going to do public input first. Up to 3 minutes per citizen to provide input on any item not on the agenda but within the council's jurisdiction. I, as chair, can extend the time to accommodate item if not appearing on the agenda. Items can be further discussed on a further agenda if the Worth Council decides to add it. Is that microphone ready to go up there? Okay. Give us one moment to.
I was going to say it would be if there was one there.
There, we don't have a microphone up there. There we go. Let's get there we go.
Test. Hello.
So please state your name and then you'll have 3 minutes.
One, two, three, four. That's fine.
Hello, Worth. Margot Kambara, Lake County General Plan Advisory Committee representative. The public comment period for the general plan and your local area plan has closed, but work continues. The Community Development Department and the consultant are looking at public input now. They'll be gathering that input and revising the final draft of the general plan and your local area plan. So, the meeting notes for the local area plan have been posted on the county website. County website is lakecounty2050.org. Thank you, Tim. And to get to the meeting notes, follow the path here. That is the link to get you directly to the meeting notes for your local area plan. And if you want to see what your local area plan looks like now, the draft, here is the link. Now, when you get to the page for your local area plan, look for the Chapter 14, North Lake Communities Area. That's the name of this area's area plan. And then if you feel very ambitious and curious to look at the environmental impact report for the general plan, go to this link. And then here is a path, but I'll skip that for now. For those who are here, I'm going to leave the board up for the duration of the meeting so you can drill down to see how you get to these documents, such as your local area plan and general plan documents for the specific chapters of the general plan, and then to the environmental impact report for the general plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Margot. That's excellent resource to put input. Anybody else would like to make a public input, please come up at the podium. You'll have 3 minutes to state your name. You know how to work that? I'll just use.
Where's the clock? I like to time myself. Oh, okay. I like to know how fast I have to talk. Okay.
Yeah, let's just, yeah.
Okay, my name is Maya Lynn, and I live in Sterling Shores Mobile Home Park. I've been being active in trying to get a rent stabilization ordinance and a moratorium on exorbitant fees that have been introduced by Harmony and Caritas Corporation, and the one I live in. So here we go. In the North Bay, the following cities and counties have rent control for mobile homes: Ukiah, Santa Rosa, Windsor, Sonoma County, Novato, San Rafael, Calistoga, Cloverdale, and Roanoke Park. In the South Bay, San Jose, Santa Cruz, Scotts Valley, Daly City, Los Gatos, East Palo Alto, and Pacifica. In the East Bay, Alameda County, Hayward, Pleasanton, Fremont, Vallejo, Napa, and Benicia. And we keep waiting to have Lake County added on that to protect, how are you doing? To protect the people who live in mobile home parks, and our security of our golden years is getting turned into financial gain for corporations. For many of us, our mobile home park was supposed to be our last refuge, a place where we could call our own homes, live among our peers, manage our fixed incomes with dignity. But today, we're witnessing an assault on that dream. Across the country, corporate speculators are buying up our parks, as you know, right here in our area, not to provide community, but to harvest our equity. They know we're a captive audience. We own the walls of the homes, but they own the dirt. I actually was at a tiny house the other night that could be put on, that was on a trailer that you could hitch up and leave. As everybody knows, we cannot do that. We've asked, and we're still asking, please implement a rent stabilization organization. Please stop the corporate greed that's making people shake in their boots, and they're too afraid to even come and speak. And also, we have to have a moratorium passed. If the ad hoc committee doesn't step up and do a moratorium, Meadow Point's going to get hit with $350 a month extra rent as soon as an RSO drops. And my place, we're already paying $60 extra a month since March, April, May. We're coming up on another. We have 10 years to pay off maintenance expenses that this corporation has had the money from for 6 years. But when they heard RSO in August, they knew they'd better get their ducks in a row. So Harmony has put the rent increase hanging over Meadow Point's head, and Caritas has given us a 10-year debt to pay back their maintenance fees. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next person.
Best I can here. My name's Tony Oliveira. I'm an antique dealer from First and Main Street in Upper Lake. My wife and I moved here from Pescadero, California, where we own 16 acres next to the largest bird sanctuary on the West Coast. The early farmers didn't know that water didn't run uphill, and so when they got to the beach, they had to go there with shovels and shovel way for the water to go by. Where water could run out there into the ocean. A few years later, the state stepped in and stopped the farmers from digging the sand. It started to get flooded 2 to 3 feet every year. I constantly kept asking the county and the state for help. There was no response or help. Nothing happened. After 4 years, my neighbor and I decided to sue the county and the state. They would not keep the court dates constantly on time. They kept postponing it. Kelly Cox the administrator, Kelly Cox, then I had restored 6 pieces of property in Lake County and won awards for doing so. Kelly Cox asked me to restore an eyesore of property on Main Street, Upper Lake. That owner wanted to knock down and put in a mobile home. So I did purchase the property and the yellow house here and on Main Street, and a friend of mine saw what I did, and he bought the old stagecoach barn. After that, Bernie and Lynn Butcher saw what we had done in work, and they fixed up the hotel, the Tolman Hotel. They spent $8 million on the hotel. Dr. Hopkins would let garbage fly on the wind and around the old medical office building. I went over there to him and complained twice. It was the second time he saw I was serious. He moved to Main Street where the White House is over here. The courthouse then, they would schedule the case again and again. Oh, that's talking about that. He tried to wear me out as a child. My dad told me never quit. After 7 years, they finally bought the property. My wife and I decided to move to Hopland. 2 guys beat me to the punch, and they bought a business that I wanted to buy. So we tried Willits. While we were there, a shop owner said that we should go to Upper Lake or Lake County. There was a lot of antique shops on the highway. So we went for a ride and saw a van on the private property on the highway out there with a sign on it saying antique shops, pointing to Main Street, Upper Lake. I fell immediately in love with Upper Lake. I bought a home and a business.
Tony, your 3 minutes is up, but do you want an extra minute?
Please.
Okay, go ahead
And business, restoring both the home that needed work and dump runs. I restored it. Across the street, I opened my antique shop next to Bert's Bar. Some customers would come outside the bar at 8 in the morning, at night, and break my windows. They broke 6 of my windows. In the late 1800s, a large box of proof about what they were. Over the years, I was given and sold a lot of things. What I'm saying is that I have some photographs of some people that made the California flag, and I can prove that. I've given and sold a lot of things to the museum in Lake County. One was a Wells Fargo stagecoach, along with other historical memorabilia, and put on an exhibit at the California State Fair. I'm here with some complaints. The fire department here comes in an antique. The fire department here owns an antique fire wagon, which should be displayed so people and children could see it.
Tony, if you could wrap it up. Thank you.
I've got a lot to say. I think it should be said because the best part's coming.
Well, we generally give 3 minutes for public input. It's not on the agenda. What does the council want to?
I think that's what's the trouble here. We're not being able to talk. And I've tried to get the supervisor, the guy's running for supervisor, 3 calls, and I've never got a call back. I was going to donate some money and help him. So I'm not getting anywhere, and it's the same thing. I went up to the county to get stop signs out here in the corner. Same thing, it's a pond. You want me to leave? I'll leave. I don't give a damn. That's what
I'm
the
not
problem
saying to
is.
leave. I'm just allowing you the 3 or 4 minutes to do public input. All right, go ahead, and if you can finish up in a couple minutes.
I've given and sold lots of things to the museum and California State Fair, Sacramento. I did the Sacramento Fair. And anyway, that's not important. The department here comes an antique fire wagon which needs to be displayed for the public. Also, the fences are falling apart over here on the Navy's. They should do something about it. My big problem here, the biggest one I'm about to bitch about, is our library. It looks like shit. So let's clean it up. Why isn't it? We get a lot of people in here, but I don't see. I've been here 20-some years, and I did a lot when I was here. I don't see nothing getting done. The library is starting to look like shit. The fence is falling apart over here. Kids are going to get run over by cars, but nobody wants to do nothing. I've tried, and I give up. Okay, thank you. There's a good man here. That's what we need, guys like this.
All right, thank you, Tony. Next person wants to get up? Thank you. If you state your name, and we'll give you 3 minutes.
My name is Joanne Matz. I live in the Meadow Point Mobile Home Park. February 4th and 24,
Can you speak a little louder? Thank you.
a limb that would reach across this room caused $4,000 in damage to my property. And Harmony, it's all right, I'll hold it. So the incident happened February 4th. February 14th, I wrote a letter to Harmony and took pictures and posted them on my Facebook. $4,000. His response was, send his staff to take pictures and call my insurance. I called the insurance, $4,000 claim. The insurance went from $700 to $1,600. I wrote July 28th, a second letter, waiting to hear a response. He sent a letter on the 25th of August, 1 month later, a $350 rent increase letter. On 9/19, he sent a letter to the tenants about the septic system, threatening for us to pay sewer. On 11/24, again, 25, he sent another letter with the rent increase beginning March of 26. I attended the Western Regional meeting January 21st with a few tenants from the park who came. They were all concerned, why is this RSO not getting on the agenda? We're all concerned, we're all concerned. I came up and expressed the tree issues. The mobile home park was built in a walnut orchard. We have 80-foot redwoods, 80-foot, I don't know what those trees are called, the big tall ones. Okay, 2 days later, he sends a letter to the tenants saying, we're responsible for all the tree trimming, and he gives us 3 weeks. In February, dormant trees, and I've given him 2 years and 4 months. So, he not only purchased the mobile home park, he purchased Napa Autos, Keith Automotives, Rick's 2 antique stores, Judy Junction's restaurants, John Noble's 5 acres and home, 15 acres and the holding pond, and several other outbuildings. And he's selling pieces off. Do you see why people are not coming to this meeting? He retaliates immediately. We need to do something about him. He's making us fix his park, he's doubling our rent, and he's not giving us anything back. Nothing. We need support. We're desperate. And this is just one of many parks, and he has closed parks when he gets pushed back. At that meeting, when we were saying something he didn't like, it was thumbs down. Can't hear, can't hear, can't hear. Use your closed caption and read what we're saying. Next time he comes, he's out of control. That's all I gotta say.
All right, thank you. Director Elise Jones is here. We'll have her, we just need to plug her into the computer when we get to her presentation. Just a moment, Elise. Thank you. Did anybody else have any public input and would like to come up and speak at the podium? All right. Okay, Tim, can you come up and state your name?
Tim Chiara, I'm the vice chairman. This is for anybody who's a senior that uses MediaCom. For several years, I had MediaCom at the highest level, like 1,000 megabits. And it was costing me $110. And I called them up and said, I can't pay that anymore. So they offered me a senior plan, 100 megabits, unlimited data for $14.99. I took it. So I recommend that to anybody who can do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Great, it's a great one. I have a couple of things I wanted to say during public comment. I'm going to say, I know with a lot of challenges we're having on the North Shore, I'm glad to see that the Nice Cutoff Road was repaved, or at least chip sealed, whatever so it looks really good. So great job on the road crew. They're working on the Nice roads right now. They're going to start chip sealing, I believe, Tuesday, I was told. So we'll see some really, hopefully, some improvement on some of these rougher roads. I just want to recommend everybody watch the Big Valley. It's the Big Valley meeting that we had, Supervisor Pyska and the group talking about hardening your homes. It was really excellent. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend on Peg TV to review that meeting and talk about fire-wise committees and hardening your homes. And Chief Duncan will talk a little bit about that today. A continued reinforcement of defending our homes against these potential wildfires. Now, does anybody else have public comment before we go to announcements?
I just would like to thank Thomas because I was ill the night of the debates, and I was able to turn on, get Peg TV, and I really appreciated that coverage, the way you allowed other people that couldn't be there to be there. So thank you, Thomas.
Yeah. All right, any other public comment before we go to, I'm going to have announcements now at the front end of the meeting instead of the last part of the meeting since everybody's here. I'll go to the first announcement. We do have an opening still on Western Region Town Hall and Municipal Advisory Council, and you can reach us through our website, lakecountyworth.com, and there's through the events page, there's a link to the application. You do need to come to our meetings, so please, if you're interested in at-large, we'd love to have you on the board and get your input. And if you'd like to learn more about what it takes, you can come to us after the meeting and ask us about the time and all that, what it takes to do one of these meetings and so forth. But be part of the solution. It's the way to go. Secondary to that is, I think I got everything I wanted to say. Any other announcements before? Go ahead, Tim.
Okay, normally Catherine Parenkma would make the announcement about the Cooler Lake Gleaners Food Bank of Lake County. We'll have a distribution tomorrow from 8 to 10 at the Nice Event Center. And I was talking with Kate yesterday, and she brought up the fact that when she started doing these distributions, her first distribution was 30 households, and now she's up to 260. Just wanted everybody to know that. Thank you.
Fantastic. And if you'd like to volunteer for that and help unload the trucks, we'll be there at, 6 in the morning? 5:45. Well, you're at 5:45. I'll be there at 6. You can always use a helping hand to get the bags and get the groceries. Great group of people that help out at the Nice Event Center tomorrow morning. All right, so we're going to go. Any other announcements before we move on? Go ahead, Lisa.
I have 2 announcements. The first is the upcoming Simple Gesture Pickup is the first Saturday of the month, so that's June 6th. If you are interested in signing up as a donor, you can do so at joinsg.org. As a reminder, it's very simple. You just leave a bag of food on your porch and someone comes and picks it up. So that's joinsg.org. All of the food that's donated in our community stays in our community. The other announcement is that on May 28th, 2026, at the Robinson Rancheria and Casino, there is a candidate forum for both the superintendent of schools, see you, Brock, and for candidate for district of supervisor. There it is. Thank you. So that is at from 5:30 to 8:30 at Robinson Rancheria, and you can join and hear from our candidates that are running for important offices. Thank you.
It's an exciting time. Get out and make your vote happen. It's democracy it's all about with everything going on right now in the world. We still have a word in how we run our world. So, any other announcements? All right. So our first guest is here, Director Elise Jones from Behavioral Health, and we're going to plug her in, not her, but her hardware. And,
Okay, sure.
And she's going to talk about...
I don't know. Is it right? Is it this it?
Yes,
that's it. I even had my own. Oh. Well, thank you. What's
Certainly.
this?
There you go.
We want to thank Elise Jones, Director of Behavioral Health, for coming over. I think she was driving over from a meeting in Sacramento. Maybe she has more updated news. Don't know if it's good news, but we'll see. But thank you for coming. Let's give her a hand.
Thank you. This is a pleasure. I have not had the opportunity to attend this town hall. Full disclosure, I live in Lucerne, so this would not be mine. However, why am I here, you may be asking? It's because of Proposition 1. Have any of you heard of Prop 1? Okay, so I'm going to give a bit of a background, but Proposition 1 was on your ballot a couple of years ago, and what it did was change something called the Mental Health Services Act. Had anybody heard of that before? Okay, so we'll get to why that might matter or be important to you as the presentation goes along, but I just want to level set that we're here because this is a big change to services to our community, and as part of our due diligence to make sure that we bring our community along with these changes, we're here. I also have a couple members of my management team here that if I can't answer any questions, I'm certain that they can. Okay, so this is the background, and this is the Mental Health Services Act, which was passed over 20 years ago now, in 2004, and it imposed a 1% tax on California's richest Americans. Citizens. It's been a long day. And so California has a lot of wealthy people, and so they've been contributing 1% extra towards the Mental Health Services Act, which has gone directly, it looks good to me. It's just got a little flavor to it, right? It could be my thing. Sorry. Oh, you have the magic touch. Thank you. I would have just tolerated that. Okay. You can see I'm not the technology person, but I appreciate it. So, it allowed behavioral health plans in California to have additional funds to provide services and supports above what we're already required to provide. And so if you don't know, County Behavioral Health serves individuals with mental health and substance use disorder issues. We provide medication management, therapy, a variety of wraparound services and supports. You or people you know or love may have received services from us in the past, but we're here essentially as the safety net for some of California's most vulnerable individuals. So it gave us a lot of flexibility to spend funding according to local preference, because who knows our community better than us, right? We know what we need and how to do it. And so you may have heard of our peer-run wellness centers. There hasn't been one in this district, but we have had one, the Big Oak Center in Clear Lake Oaks. We've had Circle of Native Minds in the city of Lakeport. We have had Lavos, which is in the city of Clear Lake, and we also had another center in Lakeport for kids, for youth, age 15 to 25. We also provided informal services, peer support services. What does that mean? That means peers are people who live with a behavioral health disorder. I'm a peer. And sometimes it's better to connect with your peers, right? Somebody who's gone through exactly what you've gone through, beyond talking to a therapist or a psychiatrist or anything like that. Not that those things aren't helpful, but talking to somebody who's really walked through what you've been through can be very helpful to people in recovery. We've also done a lot of prevention work through that, like training. How many people have ever taken a mental health first aid class? Really? We have 2. I'm so excited. I thought I wouldn't get any hands. So if you're interested, let me know, because we are continuing to offer that. It's a wonderful curriculum that teaches regular folks what to do if you see somebody who might be challenged with behavioral health issues. So this is where it gets a little technical. This is how the money has broken down in MHSA. So on the left-hand side in the purple, we had this big category that was focused on prevention and early intervention. And really it was based in the idea and largely the fact that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's not a surprise to anybody. So we did a lot of things like offer trainings, do community events to reduce stigma about behavioral health. Unfortunately, one of the biggest factors that prevents people from seeking timely behavioral health services is stigma. People are ashamed or feel afraid to come out and say that that they're not okay. So we've done a lot to combat that in our community. We've also funded a variety of programs to help people who are vulnerable outside of our traditional continuum of services, such as moms who've just had babies. That's a big population of focus, and a variety of other projects. The green bucket in the middle is called Community Services and Supports. This supported things like crisis services. If you don't know, our county behavioral health department is responsible for mental health crisis response in the community. Yes, and I'm glad to see that. We've done a lot of partnership with our first responders to help take care of folks in our community. We've also done things like parent partner support. So when kids come into services, we know that we're not just treating the kid, we're treating the whole family, and you can't get healthy in a sick home. And so sometimes it's helpful for another parent who maybe has gone through challenges to partner with that parent of the child and say, hey, I know how you feel, I've been here. Let's walk this together, right? And so that's kind of this non-traditional type of services and supports that that the Mental Health Services Act has allowed us to do. We also had some funding for workforce and education, so training for our staff, also a variety of stipend and scholarship programs to help us grow and develop our own staff into clinicians. I'm proud to say that we have a variety of staff who have started as clients and who now hold very high levels of leadership within our department, and that matters a lot, because who better to help design the services than people who have lived it, right? And that would not have happened without this funding. Innovation, things that are really kind of outside the box, as the name would suggest, innovative. So we've funded a variety of different programs with innovation dollars, one of which was a closed loop referral system. What does that mean? That means if you're in a community clinic like Lakeview Health Center over in Lakeport, and they refer you to us, that goes in a portal, we get that, and they can track that referral all the way through connection to services so people don't slip through the cracks, right? That was the goal of it. And then another bucket of funding was capital, facilities, and technology needs. And this is improving our infrastructure, things literally brick and mortar, sometimes computers, all the things that you need to run a business that we needed, including the launch of a new electronic health record. That's a medical record, and they're very costly. So, as I said, Proposition 1 passed, actually quite narrowly, and it reformed entirely, not just the MHSA, but I would say behavioral health services as a whole. And the number one change is that it's no longer the Mental Health Services Act, it's the Behavioral Health Services Act. What does that mean? That means it's not just people with mental health, it's also people who are experiencing a substance use disorder. Before, it was limited to just people in our mental health side of the house, but now, fortunately, we're able to support people and programs across our services continuum, which is important. An emphasis, as you may be aware, Governor Newsom is a big proponent of housing, and so because this was partly penned by him, there's a focus on making sure that we allocate some of these dollars to providing housing supports. There is also a focus on increasing access generally to substance use disorder treatment, which I know many of you would agree our community is in need of. And also creating a lot of transparency and kind of a single place where everything that we do is contained. Prior to that, a lot of our data, our reporting, our planning was somewhat piecemeal. It would live here and there. The state has said, nope, you need to have one plan to, what is the Lord of the Rings, one ring to rule them all? Sorry, that's a really... One plan to rule it all is how we can phrase it. I'm a major LOTR nerd, sorry. Okay, so this is, and I hope I can walk a little bit. This slide is a little bit complex, and this is like the least complicated that we could figure out how to make it. By the way, if you'd like a copy of this PowerPoint, you may have it. Please let me know. But here's basically the most important part, which is how the funding broke out. So on the top, you can see how the MHSA was previously structured. The state has always taken a little bit off the top for basic administration of the plan, okay. And then the counties receive 95% of that 1% tax on millionaires and above billionaires too. And so you can see that the largest bracket of services was those community services and supports. That's funded things like our full service partnership. So just as the name implies, somebody comes into our services and they're very, very sick and they need a lot of help, they may qualify for something called a full service partnership. So that means that we're not just providing medications, we're not just providing therapy, we will do literally whatever it takes. Do you need an apartment? Do you need a bed for your apartment? Do you need transportation? I mean, that we've gotten very creative because we know that unless people's basic needs are met, it's very hard to get better. So that comprised the largest amount of our funding. We paid for a lot of housing historically with that, including short-term hotel stays during periods of inclement weather, like terrible storms that we've had. The other one is just community services and supports, which has funded a variety of programs and services, and also we've been able to use that to match our federal monies, which is a whole other presentation, in order to draw down Medicaid dollars. The PEI, you can see we talked about that, and then the innovation. So you can see the percentages, CSS 76%, PEI, the prevention, is 19%, and innovation was just a little bit, 5%. Now, in the new BHSA, the state has taken an additional 5%, so they're retaining 10% now, and counties are going to take 90 of this funding. And they have said, actually, we're going to reduce your share of full service partnership down to 35% of that 90% share. And we're also going to dedicate a specific bucket of funding just to housing. And a part of it has to go to people with chronic homelessness, and a part of it can go to other housing. It's important to note, however, that historically we've already been paying for a lot of housing, and we'll get to that. So the other category is this category of behavioral health services and supports, which funds a variety of programs. It's also helped stand up things like our mobile crisis program, which you may be familiar with. Okay, I tell you, this is as simple as we could get it, folks. So this is just another way of looking at it, but here, this column is just showing all of the community health services and supports, and basically showing how we have to fit what has historically been captured in this bucket into these new buckets of funding. That has ultimately required us to sunset a variety of programs that no longer fit within a defined funding bucket. That includes our peer-run wellness centers, unfortunately. So that includes Circle of Native Minds in Lakeport, Big Oak Peer Support Center in Clear Lake Oaks, and La Voz de la Esperanza in Clear Lake. We did today, however, just issue a request for proposals for what's called a TAY, Transitional Age Youth Clubhouse model, because we recognize within our new allocations that youth is a big focus, and it's deserving of some of this limited share of the pie. So basically, we were asked to fit all of our programs into these buckets, and the ones that couldn't fit within it, we had to drop. And unfortunately, the state has mandated very rigidly what we can and cannot do with this funding, which is one of the most dramatic shifts of Proposition 1, is significantly reducing the amount of local control that you can have with this money. Okay, so as I said, this is some of the casualties, I guess you could say, of this new funding methodology. We are looking at implementing something called a clubhouse, which is kind of like a wellness center, except it has a lot more rules. It's not as easy to implement. It has something called fidelity, where you have to show that you're meeting specific program quality and implementation benchmarks. It's also contingent on our total ability to opt into a federal waiver in order to draw down Medicaid reimbursement for these services. And so again, you see a pivot from the state of California saying to counties, you have a lot more responsibility fiscally for these services, you have a lot less control, and we want you to draw down as much Medicaid from the federal government as possible. So I've kind of spent a while explaining why the centers are closing and why some of these changes are happening, but this is just summing that up. So the state has also said, instead of general wellness, general stigma reduction, things like that most people in here would probably argue are good things, they said, no, you must focus your services on those who are the sickest. So unfortunately, I would describe this planning process, and just to backtrack a little, every year we have to go through a really rigorous community planning process. We don't just sit in behavioral health as leadership and determine what we're gonna do, all of it ahead of time. We're required to go out into the community and say to them, hey, within this sandbox, and here's the rules, what should we do with this funding? And we've done that with the Behavioral Health Services Act. I'm hoping that some of you may have been able to participate in some of those community planning meetings that have been going on for several months. And we've taken as much of that feedback as we can and incorporated it into our new plan. And that includes the release of the request for proposals for transitional age youth, like clubhouse services, right? I just want to be very clear again that these program changes, these funding changes aren't something that locally we cooked up because we were bored. We were told to do them as a result of Proposition 1. And I understand that, and I would characterize this process has been painful because people have become very attached to some of the centers and services that we've provided that we're no longer able to do. So as I said, we're going to try to adapt into some new models of service. We don't yet know if we will be able to do any of these because we haven't done it before, and I'm not about to stand up here and make promises about things that I've never done that we'll be able to do. We're going to try, but some of these programs are very hard to implement for a small county that doesn't have a lot of resources. So unfortunately, we're not as well positioned as some of our urban sister counties with regard to these new services. But we want to have continued access to peer support services. That's critical. Peers are a foundational element of our service continuum at all levels, from the front counter all the way up to leadership. Care coordination is really important, right? We don't want people to be treated in silos. We want to work with their primary care doctor and other providers and services and supports to make sure that we treat and address that whole person. And we're focusing per state direction on people's long-term recovery, stability, including maintaining housing, and that is going to be really rigorously, even more so than it has been, monitored by the state to make sure that we're doing what we've been asked to do. Even though, again, this district has not had a peer support center, the changes are so dramatic that we have meetings at every single town hall in Lake County to talk about these changes because we recognize that it's a big deal for our communities and also a broader opportunity to educate the community about what behavioral health services does and offer you an opportunity to ask questions. So that is my show.
All right. Do you want to, before we go to the questions I'll start with our council in a minute. The mobile crisis unit, can you talk about that? Because I knew you had talked to the Press Democrat a little bit, at least you were quoted.
Yeah, I would love to.
And that was an issue I read about how it was going to be, money was going to be allocated and possibly endangered, defunded in our county due to our restrictions in funding. Can you just talk briefly about that?
Yep. So mobile crisis became a new statewide benefit for all counties in California, not just Lake. And I'm proud to say that Lake County was one of the first counties to have an approved implementation plan for mobile crisis. That was 2024, 2023. And so we went live with that benefit January of 2024. What that mobile crisis is, it's 24/7, 365 days a year. It is a team of at least 2 people that if you call us and you say that the obvious ones, I'm thinking about hurting myself, somebody else, but even the less obvious ones, like maybe you're a mom and you have a fresh baby and you were in recovery through your pregnancy and you're sober now and you're doing well, but babies are hard and this is stressful and I'm feeling like maybe I don't have it together. that qualifies for mobile crisis, right? So it's really a lot, any kind of behavioral health crisis that you can think of. We do a lot of de-escalation over the phone, so we have a phone number, which is 800-900-2075, and that's available. You'll speak to a really lovely dispatcher. It's probably Katie, and if we can talk through it over the phone and kind of get you feeling comfortable, that's great. But if that doesn't happen, a team of 2 people will come out wherever you are and help you get through that moment, that crisis. Sometimes that results in people needing a higher level of care, but we can say that in 2025, we received over 400 calls. We made over 1,200 field responses, and of those, 83% were stabilized without needing to get people like him or his other first responder, people out there like the sheriffs or other law enforcement, which is pretty remarkably successful for any program, right? And so that's also diverting people from having to go to a psychiatric hospital, which is expensive in a variety of ways, both financially and from a human cost perspective. The state, in their attempts to solve some of their budgetary issues, said that we're no longer going to fund mobile crisis. And also, if you want to do it, it's optional now, but you have to pay for the whole thing. So what made it really accessible to us is that it was subsidized, paid for by the state of California, which is important because mobile crisis, as it sounds, is an expensive service. It costs a lot in staff time. And so that would require us to put up $1 million to $1.5 million, depending on how you do your math, a year in order to sustain that budget, which unfortunately is not something that we have the margin to support locally. So I just came from Sacramento because I have been attending multiple legislative hearings. This was actually a convening of legislature for county supervisors to learn more about this, and I've been a strong advocate to maintain mobile crisis as a statewide benefit. Unfortunately, the governor's revised budget that was just issued, despite a lot of loud, we did everything we could, it was full court press, did not preserve mobile crisis, so it remains to be seen what will happen with that benefit.
Just one more question on that. Did our legislators, Cecilia Aguilera or Mike McGuire, anybody push to try to get this changed?
I would say every single county in California had vocal opposition, and every legislative hearing and legislator that I have spoken with was in support of maintaining this as a benefit.
Okay, so persuasion wasn't made.
Not at that point in time. You have to understand that these decisions are also made by the governor's office in consultation with the State Department of Finance. So again, this budget has not been passed and adopted by the legislature. There is still time to apply pressure.
So maybe we should reach out to our legislators on this important topic. Mobile crisis is a service that's needed. I would recommend everybody reach out to their legislators as soon as possible to push them to persuade the office to change that outlook, move money around, and get it back and funded for us. So let's go to thank you for that, advocating for that. Before we go to public, and is there anybody on Zoom? Okay, so anybody else would like to make a question Lisa?
Hi, yes, I have a couple questions. First, thank you so much for coming and providing this presentation. The work that behavioral health does it's priceless. And as somebody who, not in this county, but I had to use a mobile crisis for a friend who tried to complete suicide in front of me, I think that it is critical, the work that you're doing. So I just want to set the stage there.
No, you're going to make me cry.
Sorry. No, don't cry.
No, it's okay.
But I just want to set that stage, and then I have a couple questions for you. The first question is, I was a formerly actually trained teacher of mental health first aid. I was a certified trainer in it. And that certification, I think, expired maybe 3 months ago. So my first question is, does the county work with NAMI or others to provide the mental health first aid instruction for trainers so that we can train our community?
You've got me stumped on the first question, so actually come on up, team, if you're going to speak. 1, 2, or Scott, go ahead.
We need a microphone if you want to come up.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to make you cry.
No, they heard that.
If you could state your name and your title.
I'm sorry. My name is Scott Abbott. I'm a program manager for Lake County Behavioral Health Services. And we have in the past supported, trained the trainers for the community members, and we actually partner with them. It works really well, particularly with specialized populations like law enforcement and other populations like that. So yeah, we do that.
Awesome. I definitely want to get your contacts for any future events. I would love to participate and share that out. The other questions I have, I'll talk them together, and then maybe Director, you can answer them however you see fit. The first one is the closure of the peer centers is huge. We've heard that for a couple months now. I was at the Earth when they were talking about it. It's a big deal, and those services are critical to our community. I understand that the funding is limited, and we have to, do what the funding allows us to do. My question is, how is behavioral health partnering with our CBOs to minimize or close that gap? Because there are other organizations across the county that can fit that gap.
CBO means?
CBO means community-based organization.
There you go.
That's exactly what we've been working on. And so, for example, at the Big Oaks Center in Clear Lake Oaks, we've partnered with Adventist Health Clear Lake that operates a shower trailer, which is great for people without access to clean showers or laundry facilities, as well as a food giveaway with Redwood Empire Food Bank. And so we do have a continuity plan to kind of hold that space for a while while we figure things out, but that's entirely the strategy, is to kind of get back with our community partners and say, hey, we can't hold this anymore, but somebody needs to, and so who can step up? And I'm very proud to say, this is you're all aware, it's a small community, we all know each other very well, and so those discussions have been happening. Aside from what's happening at Big Oak and the continuity of the shower trailer and the food giveaways, I think more to be seen, but that is our strategy, is to let our CBOs try to hold as much as they can.
Awesome. And then my last question, you mentioned that behavioral health has been seeking community input, and I was just wondering if you could speak specifically to the community input opportunities that have existed on the North Shore of Lake County.
For sure. So we did just hold our final public hearing of this draft Behavioral Health Services Act plan, which you can view on our website. If you Google Lake County Behavioral Health Services, BHSA, it should pop up for you. So we've collected all of that input. We will be here, we have to have this plan approved by the end of June. So it will be agendized with the Lake County Board of Supervisors, but we also offer virtual meeting attendance for all of our meetings, including our Behavioral Health Advisory Board. I think that'd probably be one of the best opportunities for people who are interested in learning a lot more about behavioral health. And so we meet, I can't remember if it's the second, I don't remember which Thursday. It's the third, it's tomorrow, which is a Thursday. Well, that's a special meeting. Look on the website, sorry guys, but you can Teams in or Zoom in, I can't remember, but that is posted on our website as well with the link to join. But we also hold a physical location that will be included on the draft agenda. Of course, any public meeting has to have an agenda posted timely so you know where to go, but I would say that would be a really good opportunity. Regardless of this, just if you have an interest in behavioral health services anywhere in Lake County, that would be my best recommendation for you.
And do you have any kind of inkling, I know it's probably a hard question, of which supervisor meeting we can expect this draft to be on? Do you know tentatively?
Not the first two Tuesdays, probably. So probably the latter two. Okay. I don't remember what those are. I think it's the 16th and the 23rd. We're cutting it down to the wire, so we're anticipating June 23rd, but that will be finalized shortly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other comments from the?
I just wanted to make a comment, and I realize how very, very important mental health services are to our communities and to our county. It made me walk back in time because I was a mental health counselor back in the 80s, and at that time we were very limited, and it would be a shift from Friday night, 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock Monday morning, and it was amazing because it was just one person. We would have to answer the calls and determine what the severity of it was and what interventions were available. So I really commend you and your compassion, because that's what it takes. And we need to really look at ways to fund mental health services, because there are so many folks out there that really require it.
Thank you.
Anybody else on the council before we go to the public? And anybody on Zoom before we do that? No? Nobody's raising their hand? Okay. Anybody in the public would like to make a comment or have a question for the director? No? How do we do the mental health training that Lisa has done and other people in the room have done? And do we reach out to you for that? Do you have?
Yes, I will put a variety of my business cards out, and you may get a hold of me and I'll hook you up.
Okay.
And if you're looking for a location to host those trainings, the Bachelor Valley Grange is happy to give you our space for no charge.
Right.
Thank
you. So, Elise, I know you're under the gun from this. And you keep referring to it's the governor's office that's directing you on this. What department is directing you on this?
The Department of Healthcare Services.
Department of Healthcare Services. So, and they're doing this because based on that proposition, they're directing you how to allocate these funds more to housing, right?
Well, I want to be clear, it's not really more, because actually what they've required us to have as a housing allocation is less than what we have historically spent on housing. And it's important to note that it's totally less funding because they've taken an additional 5%. So we're being asked to do more with less.
All right. Is there anything we can do as the public besides, like I said, calling our legislators on mobile crisis unit? How can we help you as citizens? Is there anyone we can call, any departments we can talk to help manage maybe help find solutions that are work better for our communities?
I really appreciate that question. I do think that contacting your electeds at all levels is definitely worthwhile. So we have, again, Cecilia Aguiar-Curry, we have Mike McGuire, and we also have a variety of legislative committees that look at these budgets. You may choose to attend the Board of Supervisors meeting regarding this plan, and it's public comment just like this. You can say whatever you wish to your local electeds.
Awesome. Okay.
Well, one last question. Do you have cards that are available to distribute to folks with your information on it, or if in fact they were feeling suicidal, could they call the hotline, or is that something?
Yes, we do.
And how long is the mobile crisis unit going to remain if funded until it gets?
As it stands, it sunsets at the end of the calendar year.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, is it within the purview of the Western Region Town Hall to write a letter similar to how we teach the Board of Supervisors to write a letter to the electeds above us?
We can, but I want it to go probably to, I would suggest to the office of Cecilia Aguilera and Mike McGuire's office, because they're the ones that have a lot of power, and they're up in the, they're all running Mike McGuire's running for office, and we want to see some action from these people.
So is it worth making a motion for the Worth to write that letter and present it?
You can present it at the
June meeting,
and then as chair, I'll sign it if we all agree to it, yeah. Do you all agree? Any comment from the council on the letter being?
Who's going to write the letter?
Do you want to write the letter, Lisa? Okay.
I'll write the letter.
All right.
So Lisa will write a letter, and we'll bring it to the board in June to review, and I'll sign as chair if we feel adequate.
Do we need a motion?
Another motion?
I think we can have a motion once the letter is presented.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Elise.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so thank you so much. That was really informative and transparent. A lot of information to unpack there. Next up, we're going to have Chief Paul Duncan from CAL FIRE. Thank you, sir. Welcome.
You are very welcome. You're very welcome. I will say, Elise, in support of the mobile crisis, it is huge on the emergency medical services side, because those teams respond out to patients that we would normally load up in an ambulance and take to a hospital and be into the mental health care system, which sometimes requires care that's not available in the county. And they treat at the level that it's needed, and it saves transports, it saves personnel time, it saves what we have as far as limited EMS resources, so we are full support. So whatever we can do, and I think the letter is a great idea because it does have to come from the elected, so that's huge. On the CAL FIRE side, we do have all of our 31 engines, 6 dozers, 6 hand crews are in the unit and staffed. Our helicopter is also staffed. We have fixed wing assets that are available. Our nearest air base for this area actually comes out of Ukiah, but that aircraft are available over there. You may see aircraft overhead doing training in and around the lake. That is a normal thing for us, especially for our new helicopter that we have sitting up at Boggs Mountain. Them to draw water out of the lake, drop it back in the lake, pull water out of the lake. That training evolution is normal, and they do make night flights, so not unusual for them. They are red and white, not blue and white, so the social media feeds with the copters flying over and people hiding under their house because the copter's flying over, that's not us. PG&E does inspections of their lines with copters, is very efficient, but those are not us. We do have additional rotorcraft available this year, so over the last couple of years you've seen some firefighting aircraft that have not been CAL FIRE, but they are firefighting aircraft. Some are twin rotor, some are bigger aircraft. Those are under contract. Again, this year we'll have one out of the Napa Airport. That's additional to us. We do have currently some local unit resources that are assigned out of county. That in Southern California, that's currently 10 engines, 2 of our hand crews, and 3 of our dozers that are down fighting fires in Southern California. So that is a normal part of fire season where we're moving resources across county lines and county borders to deal with those large incidents. One of the things I do want to touch on, just as the fire chief here in Lake County, is our just reminder on mowing. So we still have grass that is a little bit green. Okay to use a mower. When that stuff starts drying out, no metal bladed mowers. Those start fires. About 40% of our fires every year are caused by equipment. So that is mowing and what I like to call doing the right thing at the wrong time. Mowed when the grass is brown with a metal bladed mower. We're going to come visit you, hopefully. So please don't mow with metal bladed mower, dry grass. Use string trimmer. Use other equipment, and then if you are mowing, please take a look, make sure you're not mowing over rocks or an engine block or something like that that's going to start a fire. I know, it's unusual things. And once we start getting a little hotter, no mowing at all. We get red flag, put that thing away, yell at your neighbor, whatever it takes. I do a lot of visits when I'm driving by and I see somebody on a riding mower mowing through brown grass, and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's 100 degrees. They just, like, today's the day I need to mow. Let's not. That's something we just don't want to visit on. And then I'll talk about Zone 0 and kind of some of the zones of fire suppression that we are looking for around the house, basically defensible space clearing. Zone 0 is the space between your house and 5 feet out. And what we're looking for is no combustibles present in that zone. So nothing, no grass, no bushes, no wood, keeping that area clear. And that is critical because we do not have a fire engine to put at every house when we have a fire. Houses need to stand on their own. If a small fire comes through, bumps up against the house, goes around, we don't have damage. But when we have vegetation that's laying on the side of the house, we have trees that are overhanging the house, we have gutters are a big problem because they hold on to dry material during the summertime, and embers get up in them and start to get right underneath the roof sheathing. So that's another reason to keep your gutters clean, but that zone 0, that 0 to 5 feet out, and then 6 feet up on the siding. So you want bare concrete, bare dirt, whatever it is, so fire doesn't get underneath that siding up into the walls. And that houses being able to stand on their own, like I said, we don't have an engine to put at every house, will save houses. We learned that in the Valley Fire. Palisades, another one. You go to houses or go to subdivisions and see houses individually standing. I mean, how did that happen? That house had clearances, it didn't have brush up against it. So that is a huge thing for us, is getting that zone 0 maintained. And it will help us do our job better and help those houses to survive. And then we are in fire season, so just be aware of sparks and cigarettes flying out the window and those kind of things. So it's a big deal for us to keep those ignitions that are unintended to a minimum. And anybody wants any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
All right, so before we go, does anybody have a question for Chief on the council? No? Okay, we'll go to the public. Hey, Ray. Go ahead.
Ray Frederick, Upper Lake. When you say wood up against the house, are you talking bark?
Definitely bark.
Some of the bark I've seen, it says fire retardant.
What'll happen, so it doesn't burn fast, but it still produces sparks. It still produces embers that come off of that and float in the air.
In my past, I've seen people fling cigarettes out the windows. What can we do about it?
If you see somebody physically fling a cigarette out a window, you can call 911 and report the license plate number. And CHP has license plate readers, and so does the SO, all around the county.
One other question.
Fire away.
If I'm going camping and I see some jerk dragging his trailer chains, can I turn that in too?
That is another 911 report, because we can stop that vehicle. Not me, but somebody else will, with a star badge.
Because I've seen them in my lifetime driving. I've seen people dragging it and.
So we have I can't remember the name of the program. It's a chain covering program that the South Lake County Fire Safe Council was distributing, and it's our old fire hose in 18-inch lengths. They cut it up, and it goes over the tow chains. And if those tow chains touch the ground, they don't make sparks.
You guys gonna redo that?
Yeah, they have probably 1,500 feet of our old fire hose that's got holes in it and doesn't work for holding water anymore.
Is the Ukiah Airport gonna do their thing next month, or is
What
it
Ukiah Airport thing?
the airport? They have an advertisement on go visit them for all the planes and stuff. Are you guys involved in that?
I'm not out of the Mendocino unit, so if they're going to have an open house day, then yeah, they will have the air base there. Will open up the doors and do tours and stuff like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other comments?
I just have a quick comment. There are commercials out for Smokey the Bear, and it amused me because Smokey had a woman's voice. It was about correcting somebody who was dragging a chain, but I just thought that was very innovative. And then his roaring voice came back on.
Oh, see, I haven't seen that commercial, but when Smokey is out, there's specific rules that are from the U.S. Forest Service, because that is who controls that item, and no speaking. So Smokey is not a speaking role out in the world. But it's good to hear. And I also did see, I think it was last year, he was talking about pile burning, which is kind of real crazy. But it's good to hear, because I think that's awesome. Any more comments?
Yeah, hold on one second. We need to get a microphone to you. So, Tim, Julie wants to have a comment. Do you have a microphone over there for her?
Yeah. Julie.
Hi, thank you for coming.
Sure.
I have two questions. The first one is Zone 0 oriented. Yes. My understanding is the Department of Forestry is the holdup on that being approved. Can you give a status report on that?
So those regulations are coming out of the Board of Forestry. They're going to be a whole lot more watered down than what I think they should be, but it's going to be a statewide, and there's a lot of folks to please with those. And so my direction or my advice to you is have that Zone 0 and be efficient with it. Right. And regardless of how watered down it gets, because it's a statewide regulation, I know it saves houses. I've been through the Palisades, I've been through the Valley Fire, the Clayton, and what saves houses is not having vegetation on the side of them.
Thank you, and I know they're going to do violation inspections and things like that. My second question is about your jurisdiction here in this region,
Yep.
particularly the Middle Creek area. Can you clarify where CAL FIRE's jurisdiction is versus North Shore jurisdiction?
So it's probably an all-day class on jurisdiction, but we have several different land ownerships. So federal responsibility, so if it's in federal area, state responsibility area, and then your local government responsibility area. Because this is not a city, it's not incorporated, where we have Lakeport and Clear Lake, then it's covered under SRA or state responsibility area regulations, even if it's a district like North Shore. So it's kind of an overlay. I know it's kind of a complicated thing, but in the federal land, different regulation, and they require different things at that level. So yeah, when you start getting down to the forest, that's where that changes, and they have a different mission, they have a different style of putting out fires, so we'll have to see how that goes this year. It's a whole different animal with that agency currently, and how that works. But we will still be fighting for the CAL FIRE mission, which is all fires under 10 acres or less 95% of the time. And that is the mission of CAL FIRE. So when we get a large fire, you actually see aircraft being pulled off of a large fire, sent to a small one, because we want to keep the small one small. Tom.
Okay, I need a microphone there, and we'll get one to you, Tom.
Thanks, Chief. Duncan, on that metric, how successful has CAL FIRE been in the last couple of years to...
We've met that metric.
Excellent, thank you.
Yes.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you so much, Chief. We'll have you back. You'll be here next month and on the agenda to continue our topics and fire safety. And we'll have Chief Donnelly, who couldn't be here tonight because they actually are in a North Shore fire meeting tonight. And we'll have to get an update on the budget and what's going on with that. Really important matters happening in the North Shore. We need to keep onward. Thank you so much. Appreciate the presentation. Next up is Upper Lake Grange update. Lisa.
Awesome. Yes, thank you. We have a couple of really exciting updates for the Bachelor Valley Grange. One is between the last meeting and this one. We did do our Upper Lake cleanup day. We went all down Main Street. We cleaned out the planters. We tried to leaf blow some of the streets. Our leaf blower died, but it's okay. We tried. And then we did that in partnership with the Hubba-Mattel EPA and the Department of Water Resources. And then on Monday, Water Resources came down and picked up all the trimmings. We had plenty of volunteers for that, both from the community and our Grangers, of course. So I just want to thank everyone for participating in that. We gave out, I would say, about 15 yards of compost for home gardens. So we had compost out here in the parking lot here, and we still have compost in the Grange parking lot that is free to pick up. I've got a couple of concerned calls. When our neighbors pull up to pick it up, people are calling me and going, "Is that for the Grange?" No, it's for the community. So if you are interested in compost, feel free to stop by 9355 Government Street and pick up some compost. It's in the corner of the parking lot there. The other thing is our farmers market. We had our second farmers market. As a reminder, that is the third Sunday of the month. At the community's request, we have extended that to 2 p.m. So we started it at 1 p.m. Now it's till 2, so 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. This farmers market, we had twice as many vendors as we had our first market, and we are now officially in the place where we have to start having hard conversations about space limitations and how many vendors are requesting to be there. Every vendor has reported a positive experience, and we've had plenty of community members, both that have attended and that are expressing continued want to attend. So we are actively discussing how we can grow, whether that's contacting our neighbors to lease additional land, pull out the blackberries in our backyard, et cetera, et cetera. So very excited for the success of that. The banners on Main Street. Our members have heard the community that they would like the Grange to take this on. As a reminder, this was not a Grange responsibility. It was previously ran by the Upper Lake Community Council. However, the Grange has taken point. We are working with the fire department, who has shared that they will help us take down the banners as they are now, and Grange members will be designing a prospective new banner to replace the banners that are there, because the spring banners that are from yesteryear are no longer quality enough to stay up there. So I know that that was asked at the school board meeting, that was asked here, so I just want to give an update on that. And then last but certainly not least, we are full for summer days. So we have completely filled Main Street. We have over 70 vendors. Over 20 of those will be community resources. We will have the vendors of all types selling goods, local wares, and food. We are shutting down Main Street, so we have submitted that permit. It will be closed from Washington to First Street. And we will have good old-fashioned fun. The first Saturday of the month, it's a nod to our predecessors and the folks who did the work before us. So that will be starting at 10 a.m. with the parade, and then 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. here on Main Street. The thing we need now is folks interested in the parade. So typically events that have happened, like in Upper Lake the last couple of years, we did same-day signups for the parade. It's very chaotic, so we're trying really hard not to do same-day signups. So if you are interested, you can go to bachelorvalleygrange.org/summerdays, all lowercase, and you can sign up. You can walk in the parade, you can ride your horse, you can walk your goat, whatever you want to do. There's no cost to participate. The only limit that we have is no political entries, period. So that is all I have. If anyone has any questions for me, I'm happy to I'll say it too. June 6th, we are not renting the hall. We have a renter, and that is like the #1 date because it's graduation weekend. We've gotten like 4 different calls, so and we have a lot of community members that are posting on Facebook, oh, reach out to the Grange. If they're looking for June 6th, we're booked. So thank you so much.
All right, awesome. That lemonade, yeah, great job.
This summer
The
days.
Upper Lake Senior Center will have a booth. I got you. Yes.
Okay, if someone was interested in joining the Grange, how would they do that?
It's a great question. So joining the Grange is a process. The first thing you do is you submit an application. Once you submit an application, that is voted on in members in a general membership meeting. What we ask is come to a couple meetings before you submit an application. If the only reason you're joining is to support the Grange, there are many other ways to support the Grange. You don't have to commit to being a full-fledged member for that. So join us on the second Sunday of the month at 6 p.m. at 935 Government Street, 9355 Government Street. Get to know us, hang out with us. We will have an open house in July that you can come get to know us as well. But the first step is completing an application. And then there is a formal process you have to go through. But it's all simple.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Awesome. Great work in the community, and we look forward to the incredible summer days coming up. And the farmers market was it was great. So a lot of fresh vegetables, great people. Lemonade was it was good.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it was really fun. Parking's a little tough, but
we're working on it.
We're gonna build a parking garage, right?
Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Now, next up is land use projects. I really don't have much to say other than I did, not really in the North Shore, perhaps. I went and saw the Coloma. I don't know if anybody went and saw them during their open house. It was fascinating. I sat down with one of the presenters about they're looking for hydrogen. And I'm not sure if the North Shore has any of it, but they have it on private land right now, and that was fascinating. So they're exploring that option for energy use, and it seems like it's pretty emission harmless from the point of view of what I got from them. So KOLOMA is the company. It was interesting to see what they're trying to do and find in our area. And bylaws, we're going to table that till next time, right? Okay, because D3, D3 Mac Alliance meeting. How many people came out? Oh, it was great. It was our first meeting over in Lucerne, and we had just really informative. All the guests were great, and we give kudos to the troop, Holly and Angela and Earth. Thank you guys if you're on Zoom. I'm not sure if they're there tonight. And of course, the group from Lucerne. It went really well. I think we got a lot of great information. It was our first step. This is the Municipal Advisory Council, but we like to call it, and our Supervisor Crowder likes to call it Super Mac. And we like to call it that because I like it because it sounds good. So the Big Mac. Anyway, we're going to do another one, bringing all the town halls together on a topic that really ensures, it really combines our important voices together on important topics that really pertain to all of us on the North Shore. And we'll be planning another one as soon, perhaps in a few months or fall. I'm not sure yet, but and so forth on topics like perhaps the North Shore Fire budget, which needs to be looked at and supported. So yeah, great job on that, and it went really great, I thought.
Thomas, is there a consensus about when you should have another meeting?
No, we haven't met yet. We haven't
like
had the
twice
time.
a year or once a year.
We're going to meet again soon as a group and discuss this. We've all been very busy, and we will come up with a time, but we'll get together and we'll announce that. And I thought it went really well. Lucerne, the chef at the Lucerne Senior Center, and the senior center, the head of the senior center there, what's her name? Yeah, Lucerne. Anyway, they did fantastic, so thank you so much. Yes. And then we had really good food and so forth. Okay, next up is, Pile Road. Dave, I'd like to make some comments.
I'm Dave Hendrick on the Pile Road Subcommittee, or chair, well, I forget what it is. At any rate, champion. I'm champion in Pile Road. There's been somebody is dumping green waste, chippings and brush and something down at the end of Pile Road. But there's been very little big dumping going on. Little littering things that have been easy to pick up. So that it's been actually pretty good in terms of nobody getting out there and dumping lots. Looking forward to maybe some new free dump days, and maybe that'll help keep it down too. The only other thing that I really have is Cody is still going on. Marcus, I've talked to him 4 times in the last month, and he assured me yesterday he would call me today with information, and he didn't call. So I don't believe Cody is not red tagged. There's nothing on the property. He took a load of construction debris in day before yesterday, which I'm sure he intends to burn. It's like wood that's been painted and stuff, but I'm sure he's intending to burn it. But I haven't hardly seen any code enforcement officers around, but I do know that they're busy. They're out doing lots of stuff everywhere. But the most of Pile Road and everything else is staying pretty clean for the time being, at least. That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave. We'll go now to Upper Lake School traffic safety.
I just wanted to say I did connect with the commander of Lake County CHP.
Her mic's not on. Her mic.
Oh, hold on one moment.
Okay. I had a conversation with Commander Dan Franzel. He oversees the Lake County CHP office. And we talked about school safety and traffic. And he said that all the... Oh, that's right. You have to get up to. Okay. He said that there are complaints from all school districts regarding speeding and a lot of confusion at the drop-offs and pickups. And he did say that he would attempt to have well, he calls them cars of color, come through whenever they can. And our main problem happens to be at the elementary, the new site. It is just mass confusion. That's all I can say, at 8 o'clock in the morning and at 2 o'clock. I really believe that the speed bumps would help. And maybe, Brock, do you know how many of the school districts have speed bumps? I know Lakeport Terrace, and this gentleman said that he really believes they work and they will slow down traffic.
You know, I'm sorry, I don't know how many of our schools have speed bumps, but several of our schools across the county do have speed bumps installed on their property. It's a totally different conversation if you're talking about the streets.
Right. Yeah. But the commander said that he really thought that they would be a great tool to slow down traffic. And so I'm looking at approaching Mr. Ewing and to see if that might be something we could look at and to possibly install. And we're also looking at maybe new ways of traffic parking so that there's not so much confusion, because obviously the no left turn does not work and they make the turn right into the traffic. So, and again, I have the number here. He checked and there had not been any complaints called in, and he urges everybody, if you see some sort of traffic violation, if you can get the license plate number, he said, even if you get the description of the car and so forth, please do call in, because they obviously make a record of that, and they can become, he said, more proactive in trying to control the speed. And just a follow up that the Commander Franzler will be here at our next WRT meeting, and he'll be able to present and then listen to questions and answers. So he's very eager to do that.
We have a lot of danger right here in town. We need a stop sign here at the corner, because the kids are crossing all the time. And I've pulled one lady out from under the side fender of a car, and just recently a motorcycle got hit by a car. The lady flew 80 feet off the motorcycle, and I don't know what happened to her, but but we've had a lot of accidents. They've hit my poles out there, and people go by at least 40, 45 miles an hour a lot of the time. You wouldn't believe all this. I own an antique shop, so I see it all happening all the time. So something should be done. There should be a stop sign on the corner there. Okay. I have a petition here written by all the merchants in town. You want that?
Well, certainly we could.
I took it to the county, and they just brushed me off. And
you can bring it up here to us after we're done.
Or please do attend next month's meeting when the gentleman will be here from the CHP. He might have some suggestions or answers.
Jim, if you want to grab that from Tony.
And I would just say regarding that, because we've been talking about the stop sign on Middle Creek, yes, and Second as well. Let's take it. I'm willing to support however I can. What we heard when they presented is that they need data and that the CHP doesn't have data. So we have to find a way to bridge that gap. So maybe one of the things that we can do is we do have that reporting mechanism on Second and Middle. We can add, I'm assuming you're talking about First and Main.
Right.
We can add First and Main so that people can start reporting those too, because I agree with you completely that we need that. I do want to thank Supervisor Crandall. We had written the letter, and I did not ask him. I don't know if someone else asked him, but he read it in public input for us. So thank you for that.
Okay.
Someday a child is going to get hurt real bad.
I completely agree.
Parents go to the bar there or the restaurant, and when they get out of the car, and this is a natural thing for little children, as soon as they get out, they run out in the street. I'm yet to see a little kid get squashed, and I don't want to see that. I've got a petition here by all the merchants. They want a stop sign there. But I took it to the county, and they danced me around. I never got it. I have the petition here if anybody wants it.
Yeah,
would love
you
it.
can hand it to Tim.
EJ, do you have any feedback regarding the letter
It's the people
that was submitted?
It's a state thing.
Hold on one second, guys, we're gonna,
Anyway, he's upstairs.
Thank you.
And I also talked to the administrator.
Okay.
And she shoved me up to somewhere else, and it just never happened.
okay, just give that to Tim, we'll bring it over here. Thank you.
EJ, do you have any feedback regarding the emergency ordinance for the stop sign at
I do.
Middle Creek and Second?
I do, it was on my list.
Oh, great.
It's,
Okay.
it's actually, I just got the report today that it's with county council, and we'll be bringing it forward probably this month.
Awesome. Thank you so
So I'm
much.
sorry,
for
can
that.
you repeat
We
that?
didn't
I
hear
didn't
that,
hear it.
EJ, I'm sorry.
The remember we talked about the ordinance that you all wrote the letter for? I got the report today that the ordinance is drafted and with county council, so I'm hoping this month that it'll come to us.
Okay, great.
Oh,
When
good,
I mean
thanks.
this month, I mean June, sorry.
Yeah.
You know, we
Right.
don't have another meeting till June, so yeah.
Thank you for
Thank you,
follow-through on
Supervisor.
that.
Claudine, I do have a question for you. And I saw Tonderly, she might have left.
She did leave, yeah.
But have we talked about having a volunteer crossing guard program?
We did, Dave gave me the information, and I researched it. And the AAA that offers the safety patrol, it's, for children crossing the street, but it has not been, what would you say, ratified for California. So it had specific states that it would qualify for it.
Is there something that's preventing, and I guess this
Well,
might be a school board.
I have spoken to Tenderly about, the issues of safety, and she's very open to looking for solutions.
Yes, I'm wondering if maybe we can, and I can raise it at the school board meeting for public input too, if that's helpful, but I'm wondering if we can just organize a volunteer, like a couple of us put on some yellow vests and we direct traffic in the mornings and in the afternoons.
It certainly could be presented, and because we have time now, school will be out as of the 4th of June, and we can look into options that will provide more safety than is obviously there now, so.
Okay.
But please call in. Oh.
I'm sorry, hold on one moment, please. We'll just wrap this up real quick, but my comment on that is there has to be a solution for this. I've worked in businesses dealing with supply closet, how to make it more organized, and you come up with solutions, best practices. We've been over a year on this, or
on the
more.
stop sign, yeah.
And the school district needs to take action on this and protect our kids. This is ridiculous.
Well,
And,
it's on the top of, my priority list right now.
But it's just a matter, if their stop sign can be put there, hopefully it'll be in June and passed by 4 members, which I don't see a problem why, but most school districts have speed bumps in front of their schools. They have.
Well, because it's county road, that's where the problems, that's why I'm thinking we need to get in touch with Lars and see, because I will fund them, I'm that, vested in this whole thing. We have to slow that traffic down on 2nd Street, so.
All right, one more comment, and then we'll go to the next thing. I got to get a microphone on you, though, so.
If you have a connection, maybe we could, once in a while, have a highway patrol park alongside the barn, because that would help a lot. When they see it, they would slow down.
Well, certainly attend June's meeting. I think is it the 17th?
Yeah, June 17th,
Yeah,
we're going to have the
because he'll be here.
CHP will be here in person. So please attend the meetings as we work on these issues and communicate them effectively in all the areas that you guys are concerned with. And I'm glad you're here tonight. Keep coming, because we got to keep working against.
And specifically, if we have someone from the CHP.
Yeah, if someone from the CHP is going to be here, he'll be here to listen to you.
And raise your voice.
And please call in any, infractions that you see. They want to hear from the public. You can do it anonymously or leave your name, but that's what they work off of.
Any infractions.
Yes, yeah, anything.
All right. So
Council, sorry, is there any opposition to me adding a First and Main onto the reporting sheet?
For the Worth County website?
On the
No,
on
I have
the
no
Worth
problem with
website.
that as long as we do something. I mean, if it's just gonna, I wanna, if that's gonna help take action on a future policy or a policy or special proclamation,
Yeah.
if that will help, and with a letter, then we'll do it. Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
we need to do to stimulate the process.
I'll add it because I do think it made our letter when we said 3 incidents in a month, right? That was reported, not even including those that went unreported. I think that added a lot of bang to our buck when we wrote that letter. So I'll add that. And so, Mr. Tony, if you see something, if the merchants on Upper Lake see something, I will come to your shop, hopefully the next time it's open when I'm down there this weekend maybe, and I'll give you the link so that you can report it on there, and we can use that to fight this fight.
All right. Keep fighting.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, Julie, do you want to comment, since John and Walter aren't here tonight, right? So you're going to be coming on the levies?
Good evening. Julia Carrera, Chair Lead for the Upper Lake Levy Subcommittee. John has an eye infection and Walt is at the North Shore Fire District Board meeting. So John immediately reached out to Linda at Water Resources, and Linda was very responsive. And there was a tentative time to meet out at the levees, and then John got a call from Linda that said Pawan needs to be there, and he's not going to be able to be there until after June. So we'll report in June what we know of any kind of meeting with Water Resources out at the levee. We did want to report that the grass is about 7 feet high in places. It's very full, it's very brown, and it needs to be mowed. And while we've gained 1 additional water resource employee, I think they mowed in late May, early June last year. So hopefully we will see someone mowing. It definitely needs to be done because we've had rain and a lot of sun, and then rain and a lot of sun, and the grass is growing more than it has in the past couple years. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was this bank erosion pilot program going on in Big Valley through the Big Valley Basin through the Big Valley EPA. It is a fantastic program where they have money and they're going through all the tributaries into Clear Lake to determine what the banks look like and how to stop erosion and how to remove the brush that inhibits flow of the water. We need that for the Middle Creek diversion project. It would be wonderful. The EPA got a grant for that, and I don't know if the levy subcommittee can work through Worth to apply for grants, but we want to inquire about that because we need help. There's just, it's 30 years of postponed maintenance and repairs, and it's not getting better, it's getting worse or exemplified. So whatever we can do to try to support Water Resources. And I know that the group, which I was part of, that was trying to establish a community services district are on hold until after the election, but that's another process too. But we need help, we need support, we need work done on that levee, and hopefully we'll get more information when we meet out there with Linda and Pawan sometime in June. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Chair, I would like to comment.
Yeah, go
Thank
ahead.
you, yes. First, Julia, I would like to ask, whenever that meeting is scheduled with the Department of Water Resources on the levee, if you could just let me know when that is, because I would love to be present.
Sure.
I'd like to lean in a little bit here. The other thing I would like to say is around grants. I think that's a great idea to apply for funding that's available. What I would advocate for is that we support Water Resources submitting that grant and do not submit it ourselves. I did hear, out of transparency, I have heard that one of the concerns Water Resources has had with working with the levy subcommittee is this misunderstanding that the WRTH created this subcommittee to take over the maintenance of the levees, which, as you and I and everyone here knows, is not at all the intention of the subcommittee.
Not at all.
So I think we would want to avoid that perception by just supporting them and what they're doing, rather than doing it ourselves. So I would just like to say that.
Well, I appreciate those comments, especially since you heard that and the rest of us didn't, certainly not the subcommittee. But what we're up against is limited staff time, and it's not just with Water Resources, we all know that. And from the subcommittee's perspective, we need to provide as much support and information and man-hours that we can to protect our community, to fill the void that is created when you don't have enough staff, and that has been created over the last 30 years. So that is really the emphasis from our perspective, filling that void.
I completely agree with you, and I think that our goal here is not to antagonize the misdeeds that the county has done, but rather support their future deeds.
Exactly.
And just for full transparency, I have submitted a public records request to investigate the allegations that were made, and I will report out on it in our next meeting.
I'm sorry, can you be more specific?
Yes, it was stated that the subcommittee represented that in writing, that the purpose of the levy subcommittee was to take maintenance of the levees ourselves. And so I don't like to do the he said, she said, so I just submitted a public records request for all correspondence regarding the subcommittees, and I will review it and report out to the council what I find.
Yeah, that's news to all of us, so great, thanks.
All right, so Nice Copter?
Okay, so we are rapidly approaching our June 13th event, Resource Fair at the Nice Event Center. And obviously that's just a week after the summer days that the Grange is sponsoring in Upper Lake. So it's going to be a busy June. It's going to be a busy month. And as of this moment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We have 16 participants, and I just was contacted by Sutter Hospital today, and we might have them online. And we're still trying to get Tribal Health. And Ecoterra, we're going to work on them? No?
I have a contact for the tribe's EPA, and
Yes.
I'll reach out to them. The main contact is not available, but...
Okay, so that's basically the most as far as the participants go. And we are, at this point, we want to, if it is at all possible, we want to do a mailer to the Nice postcode 95464. Hopefully that expense can be covered. And we want to have signs like that one that's underneath the screen. Those are basically the format for the neighborhood watch sign. And we wanted to print up 50 of those. So basically at this point, the expenses we have are that sign and the mailer, if we can do that. And, the biggest question that I have at this moment is, do we have a bouncy house?
Well, Josh, do we have a bouncy house? There we go, we got one.
All right.
Sorry to put you on the spot there.
Okay. that is being presented by Solana Women in Medicine, and we absolutely appreciate their support and their participation.
All right, yeah, great. So look forward, what's the time? June 13th, Saturday.
June 13th, the Saturday, and it's from 4 to 8 p.m.
Only
Only.
afternoon?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, it's not going to be that long.
All right.
And, oh, also, one thing for the council, Worth plans to have a table there. So if anyone is interested in table time, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
How much we get paid?
Same as you get paid for being here.
It's
All
in
right.
your contract.
It's in my contract.
With that, Tim, do we not have to ask for the funds for the mailer and the printing?
I have discussed those topics with our supervisor.
Oh, okay.
I do not know that we have necessarily absolutely finalized the funding for that.
Does the Worth funding expire June 30th?
I have no idea.
Oh, we'll
No.
have to ask CJ when
Okay.
he comes up for his discussion.
Yeah, we can ask him all those questions.
Because I'm asking because if we need a motion from this council to support anything financially, we need to do it now because our next meeting is after the event.
Okay, well, perhaps Supervisor Crandall can.
Can you comment then on that for us, CJ?
Or
if
do
we
you want
need
to,
it?
do you want to sit and comment, or do you want to come up?
Repeat it, I'm sorry. Something you said, what were you asking?
The committee is proposing to do a mailer for Nice.
Yeah,
and-
you guys can do that.
Yes.
With your funding.
Yes, that's what I was wondering, is we probably need a motion on the table. Oh, when does, no, he said our funding doesn't expire.
It doesn't expire.
Yeah.
It doesn't expire.
Yeah.
But you haven't used anything for like basic, you've used some of it, but not like for the last 2 years, so it's still there.
Does anyone have any idea of how much we have?
I can have that
well,
for you next time.
you had help for the Easter egg hunt, correct?
$300, yeah,
Got that.
that's it.
And we gave some money over to the Alliance, $300?
Yes.
You probably have like.
So we have like
close to
3,000?
Yeah, almost at the 2,000, like 2,700, but let me get you an accurate number for that.
Okay, thank you. I'm wondering, and if it's, especially because the supervisor has used a decent amount of discretionary funds for the signs and for paying for the venue, I'm wondering if we should use our funds.
We can.
To pay
Has
for the
the venue
mailer.
already been paid for, or it's locked in?
Not for, what do you mean, for your event?
June 13th.
The June 13th.
yeah.
No, I haven't, nothing's been locked, I still need.
The
a couple of
invoice and
things.
stuff.
All I need from the pack and mail is, we can turn that into admin.
Okay, do we make a
We work
motion
with
then
them,
to?
Pack and mail on that.
To cover.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So moved.
So a motion to pay for the mailers and the signs?
Do we have any idea of what that's gonna cost? I
have
know
no
mailers
idea.
are not cheap.
I have no idea.
No, the signs aren't cheap.
So we need yeah.
The signs, I believe, those signs like that are about $8 a piece. So if we did 50, that would be around 400 or something, as far as I understand it.
And mailers for about, what is it, 1,300 people? Is that what it is in Nice?
1,200, I thought, but close, maybe
Maybe like
1,300.
$1,500? What do you ballpark it at? More?
It would depend on the design of the flyer
Mm-hmm.
and how that would come out, but, yeah, I think we just need I think if you get the design, even if it's just generic, we can get it to them and get an estimate
Alright.
from there.
And we could do
that
a
would be from- you
postcard,
mean-
if we do a postcard.
Something simple, it can't be. So let's make a motion. We've made a motion on the table by David for funding for this. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, can I clarify the motion? Is the motion just to pay the cost in total, or is there a limit to the motion?
A limit?
Yes.
What's?
No limit, so the motion is. Okay,
So we have a second and all in favor, we said aye.
Yes.
Any opposed?
I'm gonna have to abstain.
Are you abstaining?
Yes, I'm
Okay,
abstaining.
all ayes, we still have the motion carries. Thank you.
Perfect.
All right.
And for clarity, that mailer was postcard size.
Yes, a postcard.
Whatever the proper size is.
Yeah.
I'm not.
For a postcard.
I mean, I remember
We did that before.
we did the mailer with the levy, and it was like 5 by
Okay.
8 or something.
Let's,
I never saw those actual postcards.
Do you remember how much that costed?
Say again?
Do you remember the cost of that?
I thought it was around 8
I was
Yeah,
thinking
so it might be similar to that amount, so.
8 canner right in there, if I remember right.
Perfect.
All right, thank you very much. Next item on the floor for the Worth business is the letter to Scotts Valley. We're going to look at this. Did everybody get a chance to read through this before and review it?
I've read through it several times.
Does anybody have any comments on it?
I am still concerned of the tone.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, let's read it out. This is a letter, I know we're going, letter to the, Tim, you want to read it again? And okay, this is a letter to Scotts Valley Band of Pomo Indians from us. This was considered last meeting, but we tabled it to this one for further discussion. Greetings from the Western Region Town Hall. We are writing this letter to commend the Scotts Valley Band for withdrawing their proposal to construct the biochar facility in Upper Lake. During the process surrounding your application, the citizens of Upper Lake expressed their opposition to the project as it was presented to the county of approval. We wish to make it clear to you that their opposition was in no way a condemnation of the Scotts Valley Band's plan for the biochar project. That opposition was purely and specifically concerning the location of the project and the effects that would have accrued from that location. We believe that much of the concern for the biochar project could have been mitigated by timely presentation of the particulars of the project to the town hall. Our community has many knowledgeable individuals, can be a valuable resource to draw upon concerning the environs, is that?
Yes.
Of Upper Lake and other North Shore locations. The Western Region Town Hall, and by extension, the citizens of Upper Lake would like to extend our welcome to any proposals from the Scotts Valley Band that would be mutually beneficial to Upper Lake and or any other location within the jurisdiction of the Town Hall. We desire and encourage development of our local resources for the benefit of all and for the continued protection of the county's pastoral nature. We look forward to the cooperation of the Scotts Valley Band and would welcome any presentations from you concerning any projects that are contemplated for the Western Region Town Hall area of oversight. Sincerely, the Western Thomas Sevis as chairman and the council members. Comments?
Lisa?
Yes, I am still concerned that it has the same tone that we expressed concern about last time. The first, three paragraphs I think are perfectly fine. Then we spend the rest of the letter, in my opinion, it comes off as admonishing them for not coming to the Worth and utilizing us as a resource. I love the idea of mentioning, like, we welcome you and we would love for future proposals to be proposed. I just want us to be very cautious of coming off like we are saying it would have been approved had you only come to the Worth sooner, because I don't believe that that's the case.
I do not believe it would have been approved. I think it would have died
I agree.
at the planning.
I agree.
They would not have had a unanimous 7 vote.
I agree with that.
Any other comments from the council before we go to public input?
Well, I sort of, I still have the opinion that they should have come to the town hall first.
That they should have, yeah. When that happened, yeah, I concur. Jim, do you have a comment on it?
I do. I originally made the recommendation for a letter to the tribe because I wanted to just have it understood that they weren't the enemy and that, in fact, they were doing the right thing, because there was some history prior to that with trying to do a project in Middletown, in Lucerne, where they were basically chastised by the town, or it came across that way, and so they felt like here they did it twice in the North District, and it didn't work for them. So they were looking at it a little differently. I would like to read the original letter that I recommended to you. And I'd like to read, in fact, the letter that I was sent to you asking you to put it into the record. I wasn't able to be here at that time, if it's all right. So please read I ask that you please read the following to the public, for public input period. Please excuse the written note rather than a personal appearance, but I have a medical appointment conflict. I want to address this while the matter is still relevant. I make that point because I don't think this is so relevant as it was. But in any case, this was back in January. But first, I'd like to congratulate the Worth and local citizens such as Barbara Morris, who has stepped up to bring attention to the matter of locating a biochar processing facility on Highway 28 near Upper Lake residences and facilities as the wrong place. I know many more participated, but they should be appreciated as well. The points brought forward by everyone were very valid and made a difference, probably beyond your notice. And I really want to congratulate the Worth for having taken this up as they did. But behind the scenes, several people worked to make a difference while the matter was delayed by the Board of Supervisors. And they did that so they could get more information, by the way. However, I did not have permission to mention the names of the actions of everyone involved, but there were several, including myself. So I made some phone calls and some appearances myself. But I would like to mention one very honest person involved in the process who didn't know it was on the horn. It was a huge contributor.
Hold on one second, Jim. Maybe we lost the mic on you there. We're going to change it out here for you. Go ahead. Thank you.
I've had mics die on me before. I was a huge contributor, and Supervisor Crandall, he played a huge role in directing and providing information to the right people. That's really what got the work done. And all I wanted to say is I want to suggest a follow-up action by the board, and that's a letter of appreciation to the Scotts Valley Band of Pomo Indians who voluntarily withdrew their permit application. So it was really on them, and they voluntarily withdrew it. That's how that came to the end. A lot of people working behind the scenes, letting everybody know this wasn't the right place. You should know that they picked that place because they were invited to be there by the county. And that was inappropriate of the county. They didn't realize that it wasn't the right thing to do. The person who did it retired thereafter and didn't have to stand for it. But that's actually what happened. So here's the letter that I recommended. To the tribal leadership of Scotts Valley Band of Pomo Indians regarding reconsidering the biochar project location. The board members of the West Region Town Hall representing Upper Lake, Blue Lakes, Nice, and Lake Pillsbury area of the Lake County District 3 would like to express their sincerest appreciation to the tribe for recognizing the peace and serenity values of local area residents and their decision-making process. We fully recognize and appreciate your tribal history, your status, and cultural values that you exercise in pursuing the proposed biochar facility. We wish you success in that endeavor and that you find the right location. We also hope that when moving forward with a local project, you will consider Worth as a neutral place where you might address local residents and hear their support and concerns. Sincerely, President of the West Region Town Hall Board members. So that's short, and it actually acknowledges their presence in their history and their local area, and basically that part of where they wanted to put the biochar facility, they thought it was fine. They didn't realize there was going to be that kind of problem. When they heard the problem, they decided to move on to find somewhere else. That's really the extent of it, and it sounded to me like you were making more out of it than maybe it should be, and it's, so something short and sweet is what I was looking for. So that was the original intent of the letter.
And I do agree. I think that this should be streamlined, and this just, goes on and on. And
Well, we can just send his letter.
well, we need to get it.
Well, why don't we'll get the letter from you, Jim, again. I probably have it in our records, and then we'll bring it back to the board. We'll bring it back to the council,
But we want to move on this, right? We want to move on this.
One thing that I should mention as being a founder of the MAX is that you want to be careful about how much you make it look like you have authority. You are there to listen and to try to find facility to getting things done. And I know you all know that, but sometimes it kind of gets away from you because you're able to accomplish a lot by finding the facility that's on the deck. Just like the school project, There's a way to do that. There's a right way to do it, and a facility to find how to do it is really what you need to pursue. Not that it should be done, I think everybody agrees. Like the stop sign downtown, Tony's right. There should be a stop sign there because stop signs go in to slow traffic down. In Lucerne, during a town hall one time, we needed a stop sign changed from one corner to another, and we worked through it. It took us 2 meetings, and we got it done because we got the right people in the room from the county. They recognized, they told us what we needed to do. We made the observations, documented it. Here, practically all of it's documented already. So there are strips. You can have rubble strips. You can have lots of different things and advanced signage. You don't need a wave in the road, but you can do that. You can do them both. Rumble strips work very well to remind people to slow down, and they tack into the road, and they're very cheap. So there's a lot of ways to get at everything, and it's a matter of facility. Here, I believe that you need to do just something respectful in order to let the tribe know that, look, we're there with you. We didn't mean you guys were at fault. We recognize what your value to the community is. They've been here 20,000 years, so.
All right, thank you, Jim, for your input, and we'll grab that letter from you again.
I think we have it in our email. Is
Do
it
we?
possible? Yeah, I think we have it in our emails. Can we just move to send that one?
Yeah, I would like to see it revised and
Okay.
streamlined
Okay.
with, some
We'll
Jim's
take it in
verbiage.
again, and Tim, if you could work with that letter that Jim, and enable us to have something for next month.
How can you improve?
Well, you might
No,
just utilize that one, but
Yeah.
he'll bring it back to us for full motion, and we'll send it out, and I'll sign it. Thank you, Jim, for your input and knowledge and advisement about how we work. So let's get to supervisor report. EJ, are you still here? Thank you.
Yeah, so as I said earlier, the ordinance for the stop sign at Elk Mountain is coming. I'm glad that, Jim, I'm glad you mentioned that about the letter situation, because when I did talk to Scotts Valley before that meeting, they did say they were going to pull out their application, but we still had to vote on it. So it still was a vote because of the procedure, but they did agree to pull out of it. And honestly, you can send them any letter. I don't think they're really concerned about doing projects in Lake County anymore because they have their casino deal that they're dealing with in Vallejo, or Vacaville. So I mean, it's a good thing just to open dialogue again in case there is something. But I talked to them and I don't think they're really looking to do any, like a lot of their tribal operations here are kind of more focused down there now. So, but just threw that out there. Let's see.
It's not a bad thing for us to put
No.
our 2 cents in.
No, I think it's good. Let's see. The rent stabilization, again, that's with county council, and I've talked with folks about it. I think, Maya, you're here, and we have a lot of good intent in there. It should be coming forward, I want to say, in the next couple of meetings. I'll even go that close, because it's already was on the desk this week. I mentioned that at the last MAC that I was at. The last MAC, sorry. So look for that coming, I wanted to also just give an update about Rodman Slough, because I know it's done, but there's more work to follow to enhance it, and that'll take place either mid-July to mid-August. So you'll see more. I know it looks good right now, but there's still more finishing touches they need to do on it, which is just going to...
Are they going to do the sides too? I know they just did the center, the drivable lanes. I was wondering.
Yeah,
if-
I think that's
good.
part of the enhancement that they're looking at.
Oh,
They still
good,
got to
'cause,
do
you
some
know.
more to it. That's what was told to me, at least. So I'm glad to see that happen, and we're looking forward to more of that. I know that Lars will be coming forward. I don't know if it's June 2nd or the second week, but I know one of those 2 weeks he'll be coming forward with more of a road plan to show how that's going to lay out, if that makes any sense. I thought about something that you mentioned. You did a PRA. And that's about what is that, the levy, or is that the formation committee? Because I thought there was going to be a formation committee that was going to take over all of this, and
I did my PRA asking for all correspondence regarding the levies with the emails of all of the members of the levy committee.
Oh, okay, yeah, I thought that, because sometimes they get conflated, the formation committee and the levy, I don't know, I just was curious about that. so.
Appreciate it, yeah, we've tried to separate that a couple times.
Okay.
For the Community Services District, if you remember a couple of months ago, we actually had Ben come and present, and so we clarified then that the Community Service District Formation Committee had nothing to do with the levy subcommittee.
I mean, despite that they were on the committee, they also were outside committee.
Yeah.
I think the three of them are still on, or now still on the levy committee, but. So I heard dump days, and so I'm in contact with Mrs. Goodman, who is from the Waste Solutions. So we're looking towards that. We'll be looking at that for this summer. Let's see. Oh, the letter you're just talking about. That was the first thing I was going to talk about was the lease. That actually is another thing that should be coming forward. I know it's a little late because we were looking at doing that in January, but that property where the biochar was going to be, where it had the lease, the termination is coming soon as well, so that way there's no potential, there's nothing potentially coming forward.
Is there any specific date, EJ?
Don't
Our
have,
meeting?
no, I just know that I know that I've been approached by Water Resources about when they're gonna bring it, or what. They wanted to know if it was something we needed to do or if they can just terminate it. I'd like them to terminate it, but we accepted it, so I think it's more appropriate for the board to actually terminate it as well.
Right, and that's your intention then, so we
Right.
clear this.
Yes, yeah, that's my intent for sure. It's too bad it didn't happen in January, but, but that's what I have there. That's really all I have on my list, so I'll just stay around for questions if there's not anything else.
Does anybody have any questions for Supervisor Crandall? And we get the microphone to Margot?
Margot, you could have asked me anything Tuesday. Sorry.
But it's more timely now. Back to the biochar project. It's great that the lease is going to be expiring soon and that
Terminated.
Terminated. Oh, even better. So what about the conservation easement? That still needs to be put in place.
Right.
Do you have any
Yes.
information on that?
I think as we talked about it with the actual, we talked about it in a Middle Creek Restoration meeting, and the representatives actually even stated that it's not something, it can come as long as the project moves forward. So it's not that, I know that there's some folks that read it as it needs to happen and that's the end of or nothing else can happen. That's not the way they look at it. They look at it as it can even happen after all the properties in that project are purchased. So, that's still how that works. But if one comes before it, that's even better, so.
Oh, question, EJ, what about the cleanup of the property where the proposed biochar was? Are there any plans to, get in
Yes.
there and get that mess cleaned up?
I've been talking with another group, with Tara, about that. I'm trying to work out a deal to try and see if they can help with that. Yeah, I know some was done, but I want to make sure that, I want to get it
Someone was mowing about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, something like that, and nobody knew who it was. Was that the county?
I'll ask and get back to you. I
Thank
just know
you.
that if,
I hope they weren't doing it in the high heat with the metal lawnmower.
yeah, I hope not.
Yeah, I don't want
Well,
anything.
there's pipes and things like that, so we got
And
to
the
be really.
debris, yeah.
So, but let me find that out and get back to you, but I really do want to have, Tara's really good at doing that, but I know that they have a specific.
And TERRA stands for?
Tribal Eco Restoration Alliance.
Right on.
Sorry. Yeah. And they can actually, they have it's more auspicious for them to do work on non-tribal lands, so it's likely that we'll be able to come to some sort of agreement. Yeah.
All right.
Margot.
Yeah, just to follow up a comment on the conservation easement. So my main concern is just to prevent another repeat of the biochar project where, if there's not a conservation easement placed on the parcel now, with the staff turnover, et cetera, and memories fade, and who knows, 5 years from now, decades from now, we might run into another situation. It was like, no conservation easement. And then we will find something else, another inappropriate project there.
Could that be addressed, Margot? You know, in the local area plan, we did make the recommendation for all of the parcels in the Middle Creek Restoration Project to turn to open conservation.
Right.
Could that address that? Because my understanding is Director Turner is intending and including that into the plan.
She did say that. Yes.
Okay.
Jim
Okay,
has
I'll double check.
Jim, you have a comment?
Yeah, the money that went to buy this property had a hanger on it. It said you couldn't use it for anything other than restoration. That was really the kicker. They would not have been able to build this plant without a lawsuit being successful. It was clear. The money that bought it said you couldn't use it for any other purpose rather than resolve the issue with Middle Creek for the original purpose. So all of the monies that come in for that have got that hanging on it.
We have another comment from,
Hey, Jane. So,
Yeah.
oh, are you done? So you missed my speech, and Joanna was here earlier today too, which I was glad that she showed up from Meadow Point. She brought up the issue again of the trees and about all the actions that Harmony is doing, retaliation to them every time they mention something, which is why I always sign my emails that I'm speaking for myself and for those who cannot speak for themselves because they cannot confront the issue. They're too old, they're too sick, they're too afraid, and they feel like it's a lost cause. So that's, you know, myself, I'm speaking for, of course. But so with all of these things that have happened to people since the first RSO was stated back in July or August of 2025, we're really hoping that you're going to readdress to have the moratorium to January 1st, 2026 to save hundreds and hundreds of families from all these excess fees and rent and maintenance. And also, are you going to do that?
God, she's looking at me, so I'm thinking she's going to ask me something. I don't know. Oh, no, I mean, like, no, I'm just, no. She was looking at me, and then you turned around like you had a question. I don't know, I'm sorry. No, you don't? I wish that was all you were. So there is something in the ordinance that's going to address what we talked about with the moratorium. So that's the best I could say right now, but we talked about the moratorium, and I told you about the intent of it, and there is something in the mechanism to address the situation with that, with moratorium and the fees that were already taken in, so. Yeah.
Supervisor Crandall.
You can make it retroactively, right?
There's something in there that is, it's speaking to what you're talking about.
I just want to hear it again and again and again and again.
Supervisor, just really quick on that. I know it's already with council. Just a question I have, and I've heard you speak several times, and I do commend you for all the work you're doing because it's not easy. I've heard January 1st, 2026 several times. I think I've heard it a lot in the Board of Supervisors meetings in these conversations. My concern is Meadow Point got attacked in December of 2025. So if the moratorium is only up to January 1st, and I don't expect, okay, because my thought is, I'm just concerned very specifically in Upper Lake, which, you know, Harmony Communities is absolutely retaliating against our people. My concern would just be that they get left out for that $350 that got dropped on them in December. Thank you.
There's a goal to address that.
Awesome.
And Maya, I do appreciate.
Oh, I need a.
If I'm correct, they got the letter in December, but January 1st was their first rent increase day.
Could I ask what the rent increase was?
$350 a month, which is actually illegal. They're not allowed to do that, but nobody, HCD, nobody's really monitoring them. And so
that was added on to your base of $625?
That's for, I don't know what Harmony, I don't know what Meadow Point
Have
pays.
you started paying that, though? I thought he said he was doing some loopy crap.
Well, yeah, he's flim-flamming. What he's doing, and do you want to tell him or do you want me to tell him?
Cool.
Okay. What Harmony is doing is they have got the letter was written, they've all been served, and January 1st was the rent increase that he is not charging them right now. But it's on there every month. There's a statement. This is what he said. I listened to the meeting that time. This is what Matt
Davies.
Yes, Matt Davies said, was that they're crediting them every month right now. But they have the right that as soon as this RSO drops, all they have to do is say, well, you know, we've just been not being nice, but now here's your $350 that you have to pay extra. And the thing is, I said it's illegal, but there's nobody policing them, and the only way to really police them is if the residents took them to court, got a lawyer, and they can't even pay their bills. So who's going to do that?
Yeah.
So that's HCD is at fault, here as well.
I'm glad you mentioned them because we met with them and it was fruitless.
They're horrible. I just got a letter from Gizmo. They're still trying to increase, just fees to round us up. Like every time that the rent increases to, $20.10, they can say, oh, no, it's $21. Just silly, just stupid things. They're just abusing, And the reason Matt Davies owns 150 mobile homes, and the one I live in Sterling Shores, which is actually, off past Rodman Slough on Lake Shore, they own 37. But these people, corporations that own the mobile homes, they're not the mom and pops. They're going and they buy many, many mobile homes, and they have them all over the country. Boveda has really messed with Clear Lake Oaks.
So, EJ, again, you might have answered this already, but council's looking at this, obviously, for all the reasons, liability, litigation. When do you think you'll have something out?
This month.
This month, you're going to see something at the board on the agenda? Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, and I just want to say, Maya, you've been doing a lot, and you know a lot, and you've been educating people on this, and also speaking out. You come to every meeting. I think it was like you said 18 or 19 meetings, and she's right there speaking for the people. And I just want to. We had a good meeting at the SURF a couple weeks back, and that was really good, really informative. And I know you put the heat on, but guess what? That's good. We need to have people like you. So.
Thanks, Mike.
And you don't self-proclaim yourself as a chair, so that's even cooler. I said you don't self-proclaim yourself as a chair or something like that, so that's even cooler.
All right, we have any new business for next month? We'll be meeting on June 17th, and right now we're going to have the CHP officer, Frazzle?
Friends.
And he'll be here, and more to come.
Franzler.
Thank you so much, everyone. It went long tonight, but it's very important. And motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Have a great night. Thank you for coming. Come back next month.